Yeah. Well, good morning. Welcome to this is the August meeting of the Archive Committee. First thing on the agenda is approval of the 7:28 minutes. Any,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
No comments? Okay, good. Good job. Thank you. As always, so see if we can get an update on the conservation assessments. This is kind of an important piece. So,
I have a hard copy in hand, and I know we talked about a PDF.
you have your assessment in here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes. All done.
Yep. And ours is in process, but
Yeah.
Barbara's gonna be getting some surgery, so
Oh, is she back?
no, it's in a few weeks, so she and Peggy are trying to do some of it before and then some of it after, so.
Good.
Be a little more.
But what are we looking at from the city? Do you know? I
What we're
mean,
looking at,
Yeah.
yep, we're looking at the archives here in the basement
Mhm.
and over in the
Clerk's office.
clerk's office and at the library.
Okay.
But no other separate departments.
No, the school has some things, but it's like a file cabinet of paper, so.
Good. The Valerie. Now I forget, Sussman seems to be on vacation. Our attorney. And so we had everything for the submission to the Secretary of State ready, but it hasn't.
She's not.
But I guess she's not, and I haven't heard from her. Today I'm going to talk to the other person and just see what's going on, because it's been, I emailed her and I didn't get a out of office thing or anything like that, so. Be interested to know what's going on.
Will the Trevor come? Can he tell us?
Well, I don't know if Trevor's coming. He didn't say he wasn't, but
Not here.
he's not here. He's a pretty busy guy,
Yeah,
right?
Sure, of
Calling
course.
his time, yeah.
Very busy. A lot of things going on that in the legal department, so. So anyway, as soon as that submission is in, well, I think that turns around pretty quickly.
Mhm.
And we can form our committee, our board of directors, and be there. So that's where that is. The next piece is the needs for the IRS submission. And other than actually forming the board and kind of figuring that piece out.
Will the lawyers in Boston do the IRS submission or is that?
Yes, yeah, they're supposed to.
We
But
just have to fill in the blanks.
yeah, well, I think one of the big things we have to do is create like a 3-year budget. And I could certainly use help with that, with the people who are familiar with creating nonprofit budgets. So I don't know if we want to, have a little group that does that. And then I guess, let's see if there are other things I have. I sent around the documents for creating a 501c3. And I went through it a long time ago now, but I think a lot of it is probably pretty boilerplate.
Yeah.
And,
99%.
I think the budget is one, I think there's. What was the other thing? Yeah, no,
But there wasn't anything that you sent out, Vince, that had a template for the budget. So do they have a template that we can just fill in, I'm wondering, or do we have to?
I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everybody's so different, they
Yeah.
just expect you to do your own.
They could probably provide some guidance on it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
Well,
was.
or any accountant who's done a nonprofit
Yeah,
budget, I mean, whoever you use, they have an EM. You
I
say,
mean,
oh
we
yeah,
could
this
use
is
our
what-
budget as a template.
Right, I was gonna say they're pretty
Yeah.
basic.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and don't get too complicated because, you know, for 3 years, we won't have that much to spend anyway.
Exactly.
Well, and as we've been told, it's not a fixed, I mean, it's not a fixed thing. This is
Right.
is to tell the IRS that we're what we think, and it's building the institution rather than an ongoing operating budget.
Right.
So I think you have 3 years before you have to have something that's very real.
How will you guess what will be on the income side?
Well, that's a good question. Well, there we go.
Always ask the right question.
Yeah, it's just like a new business when you're
Right.
doing a cash.
Like, we're gonna raise
Expectations for 5 years.
$100,000.
Right.
Yeah,
Look, we wrote it down.
Yeah.
well, we're each gonna put in how much?
I mean, that, I think that's where, and, you know, for our individual budgeting things for each organization, because we know that eventually these organizations are paying some money
Yeah.
into it.
Right,
So might as well start now.
Right, well, yes, or have some sense, because we'll be going into our museum's budgeting process soon, and I need to know to
right.
try to set aside.
But again, for this application, I don't think we need to know
No.
No,
the detail of that.
No, I don't,
Right?
no, but we will soon, because we
I
all
think-
have boards that we have to.
I think for the application, we could just put an estimate of the expenses for the next year, 3
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
And then the income would just match that.
right.
Are you
Where
gonna
it comes
project
from.
any possible grants, if they exist anymore, as part of income?
I don't think,
I don't think you have to.
I don't think the application asked for that.
It
Right.
doesn't.
No,
Oh.
you're just saying, how much are you gonna get, and how much you're gonna spend?
Yeah.
So you can get a ballpark for a few years and just make a plan.
So it would be great if we could get this thing going. And just so we have it, so we don't, I don't wanna hold up the lawyers, because they're expensive.
apparently it held us up though with this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, that's.
I would
they're
think
right.
we could put that together, Vince, within our work
Yeah, exactly.
group meeting,
Okay,
right? Just to
Right.
meet for an
Everybody
hour.
knows what they got.
Yeah.
Do it.
well, as I say, it's been a long time now since I've been making a nonprofit budget, so.
Good, let them do it.
Yeah,
They all have them.
so. Other than that, I mean, I'm looking at the EZ form. And, I assume that's what we'll use. And so the organizational structure, we have that in the bylaws. Your specific activities, and I think there's some, buzzwords that we have to include in that. So it makes it pretty simple, and then it's. I have to increase the size of this, I'm sorry, I can't see it.
Will we still use the Athenaeum's address or get a PO box?
I think initially, didn't you offer to have the Athenaeum as the address?
I think,
Or Tom did?
I think we decided to have the city.
Oh,
Okay, oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, that's probably better. And I think they said they could be the fiscal agent, right? Or no?
Yep.
Where's Trevor?
Where's Trevor? Right. I know it was gonna be the address,
Oh.
but no, it wasn't gonna be the fiscal agent because
We don't.
You are.
we only need one until,
This is done.
right.
not even until this is done. We only need one until until we have a taxpayer ID, which
Right,
is the state submission.
yeah.
So we'll only need one for another month or so.
Here's Tom.
Hey, Tom,
Sorry, Emily.
Tom?
So we're talking about the submission to the IRS. What you missed is that Valerie Sussman seems to be on vacation, so our submission to the state has not gone in I don't know if it has, but I haven't heard anything from them, and her emails don't say out of office or anything, so.
Huh.
I'm gonna call today and just, or email the
Somebody
other
in their
person there.
office, yeah.
So just, we need to create a budget, and we've just been talking about that for the IRS submission. Your imaginary budget.
Mhm.
No, and go through the forms and
Are you in
fill it out.
publication 557 or
I'm
where are you?
well, I'm looking at the 1023 EZ right now. I also have the publication. Where is it? It's the applying for 501c3 tax exempt status. It's their PDF that's about 13 pages long. It's just and I sent that out to everybody. right?
Yes.
Right, yeah,
Oh, the one you said. Okay.
So what else do we have to do for that? I question. Can anyone answer?
I think that's it.
And budget,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, you got the board, you got the budget. Submit it.
I'm happy to work on the budget while we're pending, because I think our fundraising committee can't really do anything at the moment without this,
Mhm.
and I'm waiting for our assessment, so if you want me to work on the budget, I'm happy to.
Terrific.
Right? Will you work on the budget? Yeah.
Steal it from my former treasurer. Steal his work.
Okay.
Um,
And Tom, did I asked you about where we are in our account right now? Did
Yep, you have $7,400 left.
7,400. Just keep writing checks to the lawyers and just.
That's what it's there for.
Okay,
And it's not currently spendable, but I did talk to two well-off people who have named Porky in their will.
say that again.
They've Portsmouth Archive Center is named as a beneficiary of their will.
Really?
Now we have to do it.
How old are they?
State of health. Unfortunately, they're both very healthy.
Be good when you're a lot older.
How did you get that? What
They
was,
asked, I asked.
wow,
That's how you do
good
it.
job.
It's called fundraising.
And I think there's some more people. We got, if we get all this stuff, I think there are
Yeah.
more people. who-
There are.
Well, I mean, it's people who, they had already expressed interest in the project.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
great legacy.
yeah. And I think it's a popular idea among people who care about the heritage of, or just the heritage period, you know.
Like it, if the board set up a process for thanking those people and recognizing them, because that's something that I see
Yes,
getting forgotten all the time in nonprofits, like, thanks, and then we don't know who you are anymore, and,
Right.
be nice if
yes.
we
I
had a
think that's
procedure
very
for that.
important. I think
at the
that's very
beginning.
important. And I know you do that very well. And I think you do that very well. Yeah, Nahum does it too, so we have that. We have good guidance on that. So, yeah, I think a lot of funds could come through legacy gifts. And that would be great.
As an archive, it's such a great pairing.
Yeah,
History.
History and money go together.
I wish.
that's our byline.
No one ever.
So. Does anyone have anything else? I don't, you know, was a catch-up meeting and I didn't wanna omit the mayonnaise. So,
Do we have any of the legal subgroup meetings coming up again, or
Well,
that's kind of relaxed now that we have?
I mean,
our work?
I don't think so. I think Valerie needs to get it to the state. We get that back. Then we can actually meet as a board
Yep, okay.
and do that business. And
It'd be a good PR opportunity.
yes, and then, you know, I think we need to, and maybe that's something we can begin to work on is what that is about.
And does this committee continue past the creation of the board?
Well,
Because it's a city created
It's-
committee.
once a board is formed, that's not a city committee anymore.
It would be rather redundant, right?
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I would think.
Yeah, so,
Like you let the board
so
move
there's
forward with.
a couple consequences of that, I think. I think Trevor goes to more of a representing the city.
Right.
Mhm.
And this space is less available because it's not a city committee. This is a very busy space, so.
Although with the city as a member, I would think some kind of rotation among member.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think,
City is a member and the addressee.
yeah, though that's true. That is true. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of demand
But
on
it
this
is,
room.
yeah.
So,
But does the dissolution of the committee happen at the time the nonprofit is formed? Like automatically?
no.
The city council created us, right?
So it's a city council thing and I'll have to talk to them about how that works. But I mean,
There's no reason that the committee couldn't continue on in support of all our joint activity.
well, that's true.
Once there's a board's gonna need some help. And, you know, you need to find out from Trevor, you know, when do we disappear
Mhm.
or not?
That's true. Well, I'll find out
Yeah.
about that stuff. And we can just figure it out and, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy meeting other places too, you know, meeting at the various sites, so.
Mhm. We could do that.
And,
And George could still come if he wants.
yeah.
Thanks. Maybe we have to hire him.
And I don't know, I mean, we're gonna have to spend some money on creating,
Lots of things.
well, the
Everything.
things that an organization needs to go start looking for money.
Letterhead, things like that.
A marketing
Now.
budget should be created as well. I don't know if that should be part of the overall budget with just an
Mhm.
estimate of what the marketing budget will be as a line item.
Yeah.
A website.
Website materials, yeah. That stuff's expensive too,
The websites are very expensive.
Yeah.
And time consuming.
yeah. We can keep it pretty simple to begin with. Even I can do that.
You sure? You want
No.
to volunteer?
We accept your volunteer.
Right, give it a try. But
Yeah.
No, you need a place, I mean, you need some sophisticated things like receiving money through a
Yeah.
website and stuff like that.
And aside from the name, a logo would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. All right. I don't want to keep people beyond what we need.
Thank you.
Thanks.
To adjourn.
Thank you.
Oh, second,
But what about the next meeting is September 22nd?
yeah, we'll schedule another meeting. Let me just double check that.
Second is.
Yeah, I think that's,
Oh,
yeah.
it's that evening. It's okay.
No, Rosh Hashanah,
Isn't it Monday night?
Monday night, yeah.
So we could meet in the morning.
One quick one.
Yeah.
Barrett does not provide a budget template for 501c3s. However, they do advise that you should include a lot of things, including that stuff, because it's used to determine whether you're a public charity or a private foundation.
Right.
Right.
And there's a whole list of, the,
Which do we want to be?
I
I
don't know.
think the lawyers have some ideas on that, because they
Yeah, I
did
think it was
talk about
private
that.
charity.
Yeah,
I think so.
Of what we
that's
could
what they
accept, monies we could accept.
right, and also because there's a municipality involved in it
Involved
too.
in it, yeah.
So that, yeah, so,
And because the foundations have spending requirements,
Mm-hmm.
disbursement
Yeah.
requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
So
so we're still on, we didn't vote on closing the meeting yet.
so I was gonna suggest at the next meeting that we have a goal of that being the meeting to develop the new board.
Yeah,
We should have time to get our application through the state by then, assuming that the attorneys, even if they're on vacation, I mean, somebody's gotta be able to pull that trigger for them.
yeah,
Or maybe she did it before she left and
Maybe,
just hasn't
right.
told us.
Right, yeah, could be already done.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or one can go to Concord and just hand it to them.
well, that's true.
So it doesn't have to be submitted from
Oh,
the
I
city
no.
attorney, if that's who.
You got all the paperwork, just deliver it to them.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to
Fine.
Concord on
Yeah,
Wednesday or Thursday.
so when you
Anyway.
check if it's already been done or not,
There you
you
go.
say, I'll take it myself, thank you very much, and we're not paying you.
Bless you.
Yeah,
Could also. You can also look it up on their website to see if it's been done.
it's nice to have a sleuth in here.
I don't see it yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's gone in yet.
Good, move along.
So September 22nd.
Yep.
Morning.
And we'll work on the board on that one.
Okay.
All right.
Budget board. Ideas for logo? Who has logo?
I'm gonna say that way, I think we need to turn to outside.
That would be the marketing budget.
Huh?
The marketing budget.
So the social media one,
Try, but.
Yeah, social media.
there you go.
I am
We got
I
that.
am
We all have.
not a social media person at all.
I wouldn't mind doing the social media. If you want, I can create at least the usernames so that we grab that.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Idea.
George, you never did that, did you?
But
When you held on to when you created the domain, the URL,
It's Portsmouth Archive
yep,
org.
Portsmouth, what is it again? What is the URL? It's portsmoutharchive.org.
Yeah,
So,
and archives.org. too.
oh, both, okay.
We have both.
But preferably you'd rather have archive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right, I can grab the Instagram, Facebook,
okay.
Yeah.
probably just those two. I don't think we wanna
Yeah.
get to.
I don't think we're doing TikTok yet.
No, no X, no X.
No,
No, Max.
I'll do that.
No, what's the Chinese one?
That's TikTok.
That's
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah, this TikTok, yeah. We can put on little TikTok videos.
Katie
Kristen, that's
Steinberg
tall order.
already.
I don't even use TikTok, that whole idea is nauseating.
I do have a question,
Mhm.
and this will be a ultimate question for the board. The city has pretty strict rules in terms of meetings, in terms of right to know, and quorum and stuff like that. I don't know if this, by the city being part of this, we need to continue to follow those strict rules or not. But that's, and also,
The committee does, the board doesn't.
yeah,
The board would follow the bylaws we wrote.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there is no right to know in the bylaws.
Yeah.
It's just the meeting notices and how often we need to meet, so.
Like Portsmouth Housing Authority, I think is kind of similar, right? They have a,
yeah, that's right. They're
Independence.
quasi,
Independence, yeah.
yeah.
So we can have Trevor confirm that, but I would assume once the board starts meeting, we follow the bylaws.
Yeah.
You better.
Well, that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we
You're
can
really officially adjourned?
vote on the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank